Alright, so what we're going to do on this rear wheel hub assembly is once you've gotten your car on jack stands, the order that we're going to remove this is that we're going to remove your brake caliper and then your rotor, and then there's going to be 4 screws on the back of here, and there may be some additional equipment that you see right here, but then there's going to be 4 screws that we're going to remove for the rear wheel hub assembly back. So we're going to take a 12 millimeter, we're going to undo these. And sometimes you may need an open box wrench to put these on here as well. And when we reinstall these, we're going to go ahead and grease them as well. So we're going to take both of these bolts out, and then you can have a wire, but we're going to remove this out, but we need to hang this somewhere. Rest it on there, and then we're going to pop off the brake pads right here. And the brake pads still look like there's plenty of life left. We're going to remove these as well. We're going to remove the hardware associated with this. And then the next thing we're going to remove is the caliper itself. Alright, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to take a 17 millimeter socket. We're going to take this bracket out. Now for those that are saving time, you probably could have taken this whole assembly out earlier, but I like to take things step by step to be able to remove it. An extender they're going to use out for this, just to give you a little bit of room, and I'll list all the torque requirements for you coming up next. I'm going to cut to the next scene after I take off this equipment. So that's the bottom bolt. Steps are we're going to remove both these bolts next. Now these screws right here are factory screws, and there's 2 different types of screws out there. These are the Japanese screws, but we're going to remove both of these, and they may be on super tight and you may need a hammer wrench. One of my previous videos I'll link, I had to use a manual hammer screwdriver and, to remove each of these, and that took me a while, but I'll link the tool and show you a picture of it on the screen next. Alright, so we're going to remove each of these counterclockwise. It's the same 17. And this is my breaker bar. And it's essentially a natural gas pipe from Home Depot and Lowe's. But we're going to remove each of these, and sometimes you may put some PV blaster on there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and loosen up each of these 4, and then go from there. Next, for this, the hub assembly comes off pretty easily, and you have your speed sensor, your ABS sensor here, and luckily everything in here is fairly clean, so we're going to reverse everything and install it next. So the brand I went with is Timken. I'm going to go ahead and link it below, but we're going to check the form and fit. Here's the part number, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull this and kind of show you both sides. It looks like pretty much an exact fit. There is a ring right here, and there's a ring around here as well, and it pretty much looks exactly like the same part. And then we're going to go ahead and install this next. And one of the symptoms that I wanted to share with you first on why I thought this was broken is whenever you are driving, your passenger may hear this kind of start off like a engine, and there's so much play in here right now where it's not exactly 100% smooth. So the car has 150K on here, and after noticeably checking this out, this is a lot smoother compared to the last one, so I'm glad people I was driving with I was able to catch this in time. Alright, so as we put the new wheel hub assembly in, what we're going to do is we're going to put some Loctite on this, and the way that Loctite works is it helps keep the threads in place and then prevents any corrosion. So we're going to put some at the end right here and then feed each of these 4 in. We're going to hand tight them as much as we can, and then we're going to put them in. So one of the things that I always recommend is that sometimes these fall off, so make sure you find them and place them. Okay, once you've completed torquing of these, we're going to put the caliper back on along with all of the mounting equipment and reinstall it, and you should be done. Some of the things that are a little bit different from the other videos I've seen is that to get a little bit of leverage, they end up taking off some of these mounting brackets, and those are great ideas in case you need additional room. Alright, so when you're applying this, just apply some at the end right here, and as it screws in, it will allow it to thread around and coat each of that over. With a torque wrench at 72 foot-pounds. So I'll go ahead and include all the links and kind of show you how to do that. The thing I recommend is as you put each of them in and you hand torque them, is you kind of go in a diagonal pattern and ease them in. So don't do one completely, but do some of them incrementally and move from there.